ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or often referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. For anyone who has it, it is devastating, way beyond devastating, actually. Lauren D'Alessandro is the executive director of the ALS Association Connecticut Chapter and is here to tell us how we can all help with this.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
For those of us who do not know what ALS is, can you tell us more about it?
Yes, it's a progressive disease. It's always fatal. The life prognosis is between 2 and 5 years from diagnosis. What it does is it robs the body of its ability to walk, to talk, and eventually to breathe.
But the sad thing about this is that the brain is still very sharp.
Yes, the brain is very rarely impacted. There are certain types that it is impacted. And you also have the ability to feel pain.
How many people are affected here in Connecticut?
Well, approximately 30,000 people in the country right now have ALS. We lose about 5,500 people a year. We estimate about 300 to 400 people, patients and families, are affected in Connecticut right now.
And this is a disease that is very difficult to diagnose.
It can be difficult because it's a very complex disease. Not only does it impact the brain, but the spinal cord and the miles and miles of neuromuscular messengers that are throughout the body.
So oftentimes when people are diagnosed, the stage of disease is beyond from where it should be.
Well, oftentimes the symptoms appear to be something else. I have heard people who thought at one point that they had something else, like some type of virus that attacks the nervous system. That's why it's very, very important to see a qualified neurologist, preferably someone with experience with ALS.
A lot of people think it's something autoimmune initially,
yes,
but it's really not.
Yes.
Now, there has been some new research study, and this one's from Northwestern University, claiming to have found a common cause for ALS. What does the research show?
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you that the research over the last several years has been very promising. This most recent one is focusing on a gene and the recycling of protein. And as we all know, protein is the building block of everything in our body, every cell. And they have learned that there is a problem with the way the protein is processed and recycled out that is actually affecting these cells.
It's a significant finding, and hopefully it will lead to better treatment.
It is a significant finding because it's such a complex disease. Findings such as this help us to narrow the focus to find effective treatments and eventually a cure.
Now, what kind of support does the ALS Association here in Connecticut provide for people with ALS?
Anyone who's living in the state of Connecticut with an ALS diagnosis, the patient and family are entitled to our full range of services, of course at no charge. We provide support groups for patients and caregivers and families. We have loan equipment that we deliver free of charge. A lot of this equipment is not covered by traditional insurance. We have a social worker. We also support a ALS certified clinic that is part of the Hospital for Special Care, and we have doctors and medical professionals that are extremely qualified in diagnosis and treatment of the disease. And I'm happy to say that as of last year, we have started clinical trials here in Connecticut that are seeking effective treatments and a cure.
That's right. It's at Hospital Special Care in New
Hospital
Britain.
for Special
I've
Care.
done several stories on it already,
Yes, you
and
have.
we want to encourage people with ALS to look at that and consider it. Very good. Now you have the 3 walks coming up. This is your signature fundraising event.
Yes, every fall. That means it's the Walk to Defeat ALS, and we have 3 throughout the state. We have one coming up in New Haven at Lighthouse Point Park. It's on Sunday, September 11th and because of the significance of this date, we're going to incorporate a very meaningful tribute to the thousands of Americans and other people who lost their lives that day, as well as to the brave men and women who risked their lives trying to save tens of thousands of others.
We also have one on September 24th in New Britain at Walnut Hill Park, and October 16th in Westport at Sherwood Island State Park. And of course, if you missed any of the information, all you have to do is come to WTNH.com and click on Connecticut Style. Warren, thank you so much for coming in and enlightening us on ALS.
We appreciate your support, ongoing support.
You're welcome. Don't go away. There's more Connecticut Style right after this.